Hey guys, how's everyone doing? I hope you're doing well. Had some folks on Twitter or X or whatever the hell you guys want to call it request info on some of the experiences I've had, contact or high strangeness. I'll try to organize them as the most exciting ones and then just kind of go down the line. There's probably about 8 to 10 of them total. Um, I guess you'd say the majority, at least 50, 60% were of the astral, either meditation, telepathic, maybe even psychotronic technology used. A few were more physical, objects being moved around. You might classify it as poltergeist activity, but these were being caused by beings in cloaked suits interacting in the environment around me or other people. So let's get right into it because there's quite a few. See if I can remember them all. First one was a meditative sort of, I guess you could say, astral projection, CE5. I kind of modeled it after some of Stephen Greer's techniques. Kind of, you kind of vector in on a geographic piece of location, and I'm contacting these dudes, the Magina, the Orions, P-52 Orions, if you want to call them that. They're called all kinds of things, but did that for about 5-10 minutes. I pictured the glyph in my head as I was kind of reaching out, and about 10 minutes into that, I got to a point where I kind of lost control a little bit of my mind, and I received color images of 5 of their faces, and their faces look like basically the cover of Mac Tony's Crypto Terrestrials, that kind of exaggerated Reese Witherspoon chin, the big blue eyes. And each face lasted about a second. And then towards the end of it, I heard a voice in the right side of my ear that was giving an instruction. I couldn't quite make it out. They were telling me, do not do this or do not hesitate. And freaked me out so much, I kind of just started resisting. And then the audio became garbled and kind of snapped out and stopped. So that's kind of like a short story of that one, but that was kind of really cool because I just received actual images and that weren't just thoughts, but my eyes were closed and my optic nerve was receiving transmission. So that was one of the first noteworthy ones, and then second one I went to one of their habitation zones, which is basically a paranormal area, often interpreted as ghosts, which a lot, I believe in, extended consciousness after death, but a lot of their, I guess you could say, footprint in the world manifests as paranormal activity, shadowy figures, cloaked figures, knocks, and things like that. But anyway, this particular location called Hell's Bridge in West Michigan had a history of activity, and including tall, levitating black beings with glowing red eyes, which is actually one of their tech suits. And they come in a variety of suits. A lot of people think, oh, it's demons, but in this case, it's just a suit they're wearing that has multiple capabilities: cloaking, levitation, telepathy, intangibility, basically shifting the molecular structure so they can move through solid objects. So I went to this location. I went playing the Sierra Sounds, which is animal mimicry mixed with kind of Japanese mixed with German, very guttural, almost sounds like samurai speak. I went playing this, and so basically I got myself a hitchhiker effect for a couple of weeks after that, which was kind of cool. The first night was a little rough, but really awesome at the same time, and this one kind of blurred the line between reality, lucid dream, and maybe psychotronic influence with the technology. I wasn't really sure if I was hypnotized before an abduction experience or it was just a dream. I'm kind of 50-50 on that. But what happened was I remember waking up and there was a bright orange light. The bedroom has 2 windows. And I saw our cat sitting there, and he was looking out the orange light window. And I was like, what's that? And then all of a sudden a thought comes to my head, oh, that's just a supernova. And so I was like, okay, that's a supernova. But that thought came from literally nowhere, or somebody put it there. So then I walked to the window and saw a pale white tall humanoid. Imagine a 7 feet tall walk right in front of the window, and it was the scariest thing I'd ever seen. Because not that it was a threat, but my brain didn't recognize it, and then I just woke up in the stereotypical "they're here," kind of thing, and I didn't know if it was. Yeah, I woke up like in a movie, but I didn't know if it was a dream or if it really happened or if I lost time or what it was. But then for about 2 weeks after that, I would often wake up at 3 in the morning as if I had the vague sense that I had just been dropped back into bed and there was somebody else in the room. Um, so another experience, same site. I kind of left them a care package for their kids, because the kids are very playful. I left a package with a bunch of toys, and I wrote this symbol on it. I wrote a black star, symbolizing, infinite potentiality, infinite probabilities, multiverse, all that stuff. And it was seen at a site where some friends of mine and myself had seen things moving around in the trees, things crawling up in the trees, seen orbs. Um, Went back later. 2 days later, it was gone. A couple days after that, I had I kind of felt a presence, like someone was there with me in the bedroom at night, and then I was like, "Can you guys give me a sign that the package was received?" And then the next day, and this has never happened to me ever, period, in more than 40 years of driving, my car radio turned on by itself. And that also happened again at a later experience when I was talking to another experiencer. But that's a whole nother story. Um, so that was cool. This next one is probably my favorite uh, of all of them so far. A buddy of mine, Colorado, we suspect he was possibly involved in one of the breeding programs because he had orbs in the house. He saw their faces. He saw them in the house. Sexual imagery and dreams with blonde-haired, pale-figured beings. So on and so forth. So he had one, and he had a lot of portal activity. The snaps and the pops and the sulfur smells and clicking sounds, which means you're being viewed on the other side of a portal. And one of those nights, he had all that going. He was talking to me. It's like, play them this video I made, which I'm playing a guitar cover of this track that, not track, but this video compilation that Ryan Musgrave Evans made where it's basically like a tribute to them. And I'm wearing an earlier version of this shirt and close to that. And that night I had a really cool hacked lucid dream where they picked up on it and they would basically kind of interviewed me or talked to me. It was at my workplace, and there was a little girl present. She was asking me why I picked this certain job, and it's like a warehouse job. And I was like, "Oh, I was paid well on the internet." And towards the end of it, there was it's big work. It's these big driving lanes or docks, as you call them, and this misty figure about 2 feet tall comes running towards me, and it gets taller and taller as it gets to me, and then it's about 15 feet away, and it stops and transforms into something that looks like a king's jester. And then I said to him, the dude, I said, "You must be Orion," and he just smiled at me. And then I was like, okay, I got to get this guy to talk. And I said, "I've heard tell of a nice lady by the name of the teacher. I know someone who knows her. Do you know her?" I'm like all excited and giddy like a little boy or whatever. And he's like, "Yes, we know the teacher." And he laughed. But if you ever met her, you might be disappointed. And I said, "Why would that be?" And he said, "Well, she's just a person like anyone else." And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I get that, but I've just read a lot about her, and it'd be cool to meet her, And then the coolest part, one of the favorite lines I've ever been told was the end of the conversation. He told me, "We approve of your logical conclusion of the situation." And then that was the end of that one. That's one I think about a lot. And there's been a variety of other ones. There's been just shadowy figures in the backyard, looking around corners, things like that. Um, a buddy of mine, we had some kind of trickster poltergeist activity where we were sharing a whiskey bottle and it was moving it around between different guitar amps in the room and stuff like that. Um, Spirit Box or Spirit app on phone communication where I had a conversation and they basically said, they encouraged me to keep telling their story, which was really cool. And that happened after I talked to another experiencer from North America. She doesn't want to have her name mentioned, but she basically said, do you want me to send them to your house? And I did. And there were like knocks in the house around that. And then the radio turned on again in the car the day before that experience happened. And as kind of a sign that they were there. And so that kind of reinvigorated me and got me back on Twitter, promoting the music about them. And there's going to be another single coming out in the near future that's going to kind of talk about a post-disclosure world and collaboration / cooperation with interdimensional future humans. So that's some of the big ones. There's one that, this is 6-7 years ago. I didn't know what they were, but there was classic. I was living in Wisconsin at the time, and there was classic, knocking at the door. You go there, there's no one there, and then the door opening by itself, things like that. And I had no idea what it could have been at that time, but that's the crypto terrestrial profile written all over it. So, oh yeah, that's some of the bigger ones, and I'll keep you guys updated. Talk to you all on Twitter. Talk to you on the YouTube page, and I'll keep you posted about new music and stuff. So have a good one.